we are actually fucking doomed. This dude applied to 1,414 jobs over the past year. Not a single acceptance.
Wow, I have no words. So let's find out if everything in IT world is really that bad as TikTok says. Are all computer science students completely cooked and have no chance of getting a job? And is it still worth learning how to code in 2025? And let's also do the worst thing in the world, open TikTok comments and see what people say about tech jobs right now. Hey, my name is Andrew, I'm a senior full stack developer, and on this channel I help beginners to start in IT and developers to make more. Recently I made a huge mistake and installed TikTok, specifically tech TikTok. And I was completely shocked by the amount of videos where people whine and cry about how bad IT market is right now. I was shocked because I've seen some bad comments on like YouTube and Instagram, but it never was that bad as it's right now in TikTok. So I decided to analyze like what's going on here, and today I want to share my findings with you. So how we got there? I think everything started around 2019, 2020 when IT market started growing like crazy. We got tech boom because a lot of people switched online during the COVID. Also, we got a lot of VC and investment funds becoming richer and richer and investing more and more money into tech world because IT world started getting so much money in, and money were coming faster than new developers were graduating. Because of that, companies started overhiring developers, the salaries in IT world started to grow like crazy, and so on and so on. You probably know all of those things. But another thing that happened is that short form content started becoming more and more popular. So all of those developers who started making really good money really fast started sharing that in TikTok, Instagram, and so on and so on. On top of that, new coding bootcamps were popping here and there, and most of the bootcamps understand the golden rule of sales. And the golden rule of sales is that you should sell a dream, not the fact. So those developers were showing how good is their life. And there's nothing bad in that because that is true. Like developers were actually having, and still most of them do have a great life because they make good money, they can travel, they can work remotely, and there's nothing bad in that. But the main problem, I think, are bootcamps because they were selling those dreams of becoming a developer without setting the realistic expectations. That's when this 3-month bootcamp meme came from, where marketing teams in bootcamps were saying that you can learn how to code in 3 months and start making 6 figures, which was never true. Maybe for some people it happened, but it like for 0.1%. But people started believing that learning how to code is actually super easy. You can quickly learn HTML, CSS and get a job in Apple for $250,000 per year. Which is absolutely not true. You can make 6 figures as a developer, but it's not super easy. You still have to go through a lot of struggles. You have to learn a lot of things. You have to build great portfolio. You have to apply for jobs. You have to hunt for them. But a lot of people believed in that dream and started thinking that it's actually not that hard. And right now, after 1-2 years, when those people started finishing universities and bootcamps, plus IT market has stabilized. So companies stopped hiring random people. They only hire people who actually qualify for the position. So all of those fresh graduates and bootcampers started applying for jobs. They didn't get any responses because their portfolio sucks, or they have barely no knowledge, or they cannot pass interview. And instead of doing something about themselves, improving, they went on TikTok and started crying and whining in the comments how bad is their life, how unlucky they are, how market is bad, and so on and so on. When in reality, in most of the cases, it's not about market, but about themselves. And don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that market is perfect. No, it's not perfect, but market is always market, and it will be always a market where you make as much money as value you bring to the company. It was always like that, and it's always going to be like that. Of course, there are sometimes some exceptions, but that's how capitalistic world works. And just so you understand, I have this cool example. So in one of those TikTok comments, guy asks what's going on with the computer science market. And experienced developer actually replied to him that there is a ton of jobs, just not enough talent to fill them. A computer science degree without projects, experience with cloud technology and software engineering principles will never land you a job. I've interviewed 40+ college graduates and all of them had empty GitHubs. So he said that they were trying to hire a developer, but everybody whom he was interviewing were actually bad for the role. They were not good coders. They just barely finished universities. They haven't learned actual coding skills. They haven't built projects. They haven't done some practice, and so on and so on. But one guy completely disagreed with him and said, that's not true. I have a degree and freelance experience and cannot find a job right now. I've applied to over 250 companies this past month and hear back from no one. So I decided to check out this guy's portfolio and see what's the problem. Maybe he's actually a great developer with awesome portfolio and he can't get the job because the market is shit. So let's see. So here's his portfolio. I decided to remove his name and his logo just so, because maybe he doesn't want this portfolio to be seen. And let's have a look how market is bad that this guy cannot get portfolio. Like, look at these animations. Of course, I'm kidding. And as you can see, this website is complete shit. I'll be honest here. It might sound rough, but somebody has to say to him that this is not something that's gonna get you a six-figure job. The designs of this website look like it's from 2010. Man, there is AI that can build better UI than this website has. Like, literally paste your code into Cloudy and it will build a better UI. Moreover, you can just type in the Google free Figma portfolio designs and you can find hundreds of free designs of awesome looking portfolios. Why would you make it look like that? Do you really think that recruiter is gonna open this page and gonna say, wow, this guy is genius, I wanna hire him? No, it's never gonna happen. And like all of those people, okay, before I'm gonna hate this person, let's check out the project. So this is the only, by the way, project that I was able to open. Other projects doesn't have like any link to open them. They have just some text and images. Like, what the hell is that look? Like, you really think that this is a good looking project? Or maybe this, look at this. Wow, what an UI, this is amazing. Wow, you have different color buttons, that's really beautiful. Of course, I'm kidding, that UI completely sucks. You can spend like 1 extra hour to make it look way better and it's already gonna be way more presentable. Plus there are no links here. So let's check out this other project. Let's check out this, like his main project. This is like the biggest project he has. Okay, in landing page. Once again, it looks slightly better, but like, what are those designs? They are really outdated. They're not eye-catchy. This text is hard to read. It's not even aligned properly here. Okay, here's try the demo. Let's try it. So here I got redirected to a completely different website that has some information. I have to confirm email to be able to register. It's like, do you really think that actual recruiter is going to be spending that much time? Usually what you should have, by the way, a good tip for your portfolio is that you should have like a banner here that to test this app, use this login and this email. So you have to pre-create the account for potential recruiters so they can quickly log in and check out your app. So as you can see, this portfolio is completely not job ready. It looks bad. It doesn't look professional at all. It has really simple things that AI can generate in a couple of hours. And these are the people who are creating all of those TikTok videos where they say how shit market is, how everything is bad, nobody cannot get a job, and so on and so on. Like, I'm so tired of those videos. I literally spent like last 3 days watching TikTok and trying to understand like what's going on. Luckily, after I watched all of those shitty videos, I finally started getting like recommendations from people who actually understand the market and say that it's not that bad, that you can still get a job, but you don't need to hope for a six-figure job as a first job. You first should start from getting your experience and so on and so on. So now let's try to understand if the market is actually that bad. And the answer is no. If you're the person who just graduated from university and you cannot code, or your bootcamp graduate who barely knows some HTML and CSS and maybe a little bit of JavaScript, and you came here just to make a lot of money really quickly, in that case, yes, the market is really bad for you. But if you're the person who likes coding, who built a great portfolio of projects, who were communicating, like attending meetups, attending different conferences, working on your GitHub, working on your LinkedIn, and you genuinely like coding and you're here to stay and to grow your career, you should be good. Yes, you might be having a hard time to find your first job, but just keep pushing. The longer you stick around, and what is really important, improve your approach, the higher is your chance to get lucky and to finally land your first job. There is definitely less positions for complete beginners, so this is the hardest stage to go through. But if you have some experience, you should have no issues getting a really good job. And by the way, if you heard those stories of people with 10 or 20 years of experience who cannot find a job, I can almost guarantee you that it's not the market, but there's usually something wrong with those people. Like, if you have 10 or 20 years of experience, you should have like hundreds of different connections. You should have insane experience, insane portfolio, and you should be a really valuable addition to almost any company. So it's either your expectations of the salary are too high and not realistic, or you're a really bad communicator and there is something wrong with your profile overall. Of course, you might have a gap of a couple of months when you'll be searching for a job, but if you have a good experience, you should be good. And even if you're a beginner, like, you should understand that market was always hard and always competitive, because this is a great job and a lot of people wanna have this job. When I was applying for my very first junior job, there were no AI, no layoffs, no TikToks about how bad market is, but still, for this junior position, there were 100 candidates in like just a couple of weeks. An important note, this is not a junior position in like Apple for $120,000 per year. No, this was $1,200 per month position. This was barely enough to cover rent and food expenses. But still there were 100 candidates for that position. And I was one of 2 persons that got selected. And getting this low paying job initially helped me to later scale my career to over 6 figures in less than 3 years. So if your first job is not making you 6 figures, it doesn't mean that you're cooked. It's just time to get your first experience and learn, and then you'll be able to earn. So what does it actually mean for you? If you genuinely like coding, software engineer, and you're here to stay, you should be good. With coding, you can still achieve so many cool things. You can still get a job. You can still start your own business or startup. You can build your own app for yourself or once again for your business. You have insane amount of opportunities and things to do. And instead of going to cry on the TikTok after 10 rejections, what you should do is actually work on your profile, think what you can do else, how you can change your approach. Maybe you can reach out directly to a recruiter, maybe you can redo your portfolio, maybe you can even start your own mini startup and try to grow it and make money from it. And if it fails, turn it into your portfolio project. So there is so many things that you can do instead of fucking whining on the TikTok. So if you love coding, just keep going. And if you also think about that AI evolves and it's soon gonna replace all of the software developers, well, nobody knows how AI is gonna evolve. But what I can say for sure is that for the next like at least 30 to 40 years, we're always gonna need people who can build apps like websites, mobile applications, desktop applications, TV applications, like VR applications, systems, backends, APIs, frontends. We're still gonna need to build all of those things because people use those things on daily basis and companies use those things to make money. The way how we build those things, of course, gonna change. So maybe in 10 years from now, you're not be actually writing JavaScript code, but you'll be saying to ChatGPT what code it should write to make it work. So maybe you're gonna turn from JavaScript developer to prompt developer, and that's completely normal. World evolves, just keep evolving. It's not changing like overnight. Just don't be scared to start using those AI tools and applying them in your daily work because it actually makes you more efficient. And if you're gonna be growing, adapting, and learning new things, you will be always valuable in the IT world. So yeah, you can either go on TikTok and cry about how bad your life is in the comments, or you can do something. For example, go to Zacode, my coding learning app where you can learn how to code in an interactive way. We're soon also adding some business modules so you can learn how to build your own startup. So many cool things are coming there. Definitely check it out. And yeah, see you in the next one.